raise on wall. So we are using the wall as a way for us to scale back the amount of load that's going through the calf complex or the ankle complex, and how much is going through the knee and through the hip in some capacity. So a lot of times what we'll see with people that are dealing with some sort of injury in their ankle is they'll train just the calf complex and what we would consider a knee extended position or a knee straight position. And that's fine for certain parts of gait or movement patterns that you have, but it's also vital to be able to train your knee in a knee bent position, especially if you're an athlete and you're changing direction, you're running, those types of things. There's muscles that cross the backside of the knee that go down into the foot complex, and there's other muscles that do not cross the back of the knee. So we need to train those a little bit differently. And then a lot of times if someone's coming out of some sort of significant injury, they have relative detraining in a limb, and maybe the quad strength or the hip strength is going to limit their ability to put load into the ankle complex. So it's a way for us to kind of make sure that we're directing the right amount of load, or being able to feel the recruitment of the right muscles without having the limitation of like a weak quad or a weak hip or something like that. So what we can do is go to the ground and use a wall to do some heel raises. So I wouldn't get too caught up in the knee angle here. What we don't want to be is we don't want to be like, you know, in 90 degrees right now or more, and I don't want my knee to be all the way straight. So we're shooting for somewhere kind of like in between. So if that's 0, and that's about 90, we're going to shoot for maybe a 45 or a 60 degree angle, somewhere in that ballpark. And what I like to do is push my foot into the wall, drive my opposite knee toward my chest, and then actually pick up my hip. Now it's going to put more load into my foot, and then I'm going to keep my heel floated, and I'm going to drive up onto my toe on the wall on the right side, and I'm going to come back down. My heel is going to hit the wall, and I'm going to drive back out of that. So there's a sweet spot in terms of how high your foot goes. So if I scoot closer to the wall and I get my foot higher up the wall, it limits my range of motion for my heel raise, because I'm already in what we call relative plantar flexion, so my foot going away from me. And then gravity's not working through the joint as much either. So if I slide down the wall and I don't scoot back, I'm going to get into more dorsiflexion, which would be my toes coming toward me. That's going to create more of a stretch in the back of the ankle, or it could create a little bit of irritability in the front of the ankle, depending if you have some range of motion restrictions. So what I say is the shin bone, when you get set up, a good reference point is on the wall. My thigh is about perpendicular from the floor, and my shin bone is about parallel to the floor. And then I'll slide myself out to get my knee at the right joint angle I want. So I have some sort of similar setup as a reference point as I start to progress through these. And again, I'm gonna bring my knee toward my chest, drive up to get my upper back off the, or my lower back, off the ground. And then I'm transitioning into a heel raise. And I can play with these. I can go fast, I can go slow, I can work on tempos, I can do range of motion or exercises within the top part of the range of motion, and the middle part of the range of motion, and the bottom part of the range of motion, all the way through. And then I can vary, maybe I do 10 fast, 10 slow, those types of things. And then we can use this as a way to progress into more dynamic loading patterns, which would be in a different video.